Today we're talking about the diversity at Marvel, the push for diversity, and why it's actually happening. And it might not be what you think, but it's been a while since I've added one of these onto the beginning of a video, hasn't it? Monkeys, roll the beautiful footage.
Yeah, that works.
I like
all right,
that a lot.
okay. All right, moving on.
Hey, what about Tulip?
Welcome back. Rumor. Alleged insider claims Marvel Studios' diversity push meant to recoup financial losses from brand's death in China.
Stupid American!
Now, we all know that the Marvel brand has not fared well in China due to China's lack of, shall we say, giving a damn about diversity and inclusion. China does not agree with American identity politics. I'm not taking up for China because they're a disgusting regime, the country that treats their people like garbage. But you know, I'm not going to dive down that rabbit hole right now. We all know how bad they are. We know their sins and transgressions.
Yep.
Let's kind of stay on target here.
Stay on target.
With this, as we see Simu Liu, who was rejected by China as they said he did not meet their standards for, basically his aesthetics were off and they don't think he's attractive.
Oh, wait, you're serious? Let me laugh even harder.
And unfortunately, I share a birthday with this dipshit. This came out from Spencer Bakuli yesterday, Bounding into Comics, and I apologize for the lack of content over the last couple days. We got to do the live stream on Monday night, but I was substitute teaching the last couple days, so I have not been able to record anything, as that was just, I took up my whole day, and then by the time I get home, make dinner, do the family thing, there's a live stream coming up. So, speaking of which, tonight we have great guests. We have Matt, a common idiot, and Kai MFS, possibly Commander Cody, with myself and Tony on Going Rogue episode, I think it's 70 this week, 70 or 71. But yeah, 71. But yeah, so we got that coming up, and I couldn't be happier to have Common Idiot and Kai on together. Two great talents in the community, and we are going to have a great time tonight. But let's get into this article. According to alleged insider, Marvel Studios' recent diversity push is not intended to send a message of denigration towards the acceptable target demographic of straight white men, but rather cynically squeeze what extra money they can from American audiences in order to make up for the fact that their sales in China are going less than spectacularly than they expected, to the point where the brand is pretty much dead within the borders of the communist country. And that, as I mentioned, is the caveat. Disney, bent over backwards with Star Wars to, reduce the roles of their black actor John Boyega, but still cater to a communist regime, of course. Well, I mean, when Winnie the Pooh's their president, and what are you going to do, right? The supposed insider provided their insight to Marvel's death spiral to noted Disney scooper WDW Pro, which in turn scrubbed their message of identifying info and published its contents to Disney-centric news outlet, That Park Place. Yes, we see Jane Foster from Thor, Love and Blunder, which is, I will continue to beat this drum, being destroyed at the box office by Minions 2, which is The Rise of Gru, which is amazing. Prompted to share their information after finding themselves impressed with the scooper's previous sharing of an alleged Disney insider's explanation as to why the company's Marvel and Star Wars toy sales are flailing, the Marvel insider informed WDW Pro that the new stuff isn't selling. What is going on right now with Marvel is the same thing that happened with Star Wars, they explained. It's a vicious loop. It all comes down to two big factors, China and ego. Well, we know the ego of the company. I mean, they're, $1 billion global entertainment monopoly. So they obviously think they're always in the right when it comes to these things. Whereas we know from previous experience that Disney is absolutely rotten to its core. They're inserting agenda and ideology in where it doesn't belong for the sake of over-representation, which is their goal, like we said, from the leaks, from the internal videos, the Skype meetings, the Zoom meetings they had internally. 50% Alphabet Mafia representation within 10 years, whereas that percentage of the population is only actual representative of 3% of Americans. 3 to 6% influx. But yeah, it's sad that we can't have an entertainment media outlet that caters to children that doesn't want to indoctrinate them. That's a problem. Expanding upon this assertion, the insider revealed, Marvel is dead in China, not the brand. The sales, as the Chinese government wants to play hardball, wants to cut off the MCU from their box office. It's all politics and propaganda, they said. They want the biggest U.S. movies made in China, playing in China, but that was the big driving force behind the Marvel strategy for a decade. We were supposed to get to finish Infinity Stone saga, saturate Western markets, then growth was in Beijing. Now we're locked out, as we see Love Handle Namor here from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, which comes out this November, and is probably going to be just as insulated as every other diverse project that Marvel put out, immune to criticism and critique, and I can't wait to screenshot every time I get called a racist bigot, simply for offering a critique if I notice something in the lead up to the movie that I find objectionable or ridiculous, or in my coverage of the movie, because I will be covering it for the channel, because I have content to make. The insider then drew the comparison, same as Star Wars, but different reason. Lucasfilm mismanaged Star Wars in China, made it all too hard to get into for an audience that was new, so that killed the market, they recalled. For Marvel, Beijing has a vendetta against us. We got too big and the communist hand has slapped us down. So now we have to find a new place to grow. That's why we pushed hard into diversity.
Stop it. Get some help.
Moving to explain the use of quotation marks around the term diversity in their message, the insider informed WDW Pro, diversity at Marvel doesn't mean what you think it means.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
It isn't races and religions and disabilities. Diversity is equal representation. So the idea that was after Black Panther, we could put representation on everything to make up for the China loss, they said of Marvel's supposed battle plans. Not all of it, but also, we aren't supposed to represent everything and everyone. We don't do Christians or Jews.
Yeah, loses a bet on a horse. Secretariat, anti-Semitic.
We don't do strong male white leads and heroic spots, they acknowledged of the elephant in the room. Though this was followed by the surprising revelation that it's not that those are bad at Marvel going forward, it's that we're told we already have the market for those groups. Why make more of something when you can slow burn your big stuff for those demographics and parents keep buying it at the same rate, they proposed. See, this is the thing, is I understand wanting to get new groups, but you have a built-in demographic that is ready to just throw money at you. Literally. And you're rejecting that, you're slapping that hand away and reaching for this non-existent audience that you think is there that's going to spend money. And that's not to say, and I talked about this the other night with the DC characters. If you want good DC characters, if you want to make them diverse, I've got the catalog right there. You can look through it page by page and find actual diverse characters. You don't need to race swap things. But Marvel, I mean, let's take a look at who runs Marvel. I don't care what this says. There's animus there towards people that look like me. And I don't care. This line right here. We don't do Christians or Jews. We don't do strong male white leads and heroic spots because we already have the market for those groups. So they're just like, oh, fuck it. You're going to keep spending money. Eventually, the insider got to the main reason that they wanted to reach out to WDW Pro, warning the scooper, representation and diversity are political. That's why I am worried, along with others, that this is going down the Star Wars black hole. And that's exactly what's happened to Marvel. They don't mean to make it political, they just are political and don't know it, they claimed. They don't leave their bubbles. Instead of doing new stuff based on race or sex, we do it based on behaviors. Then in meetings, we're told behaviors are representation.
You've got to do better.
It's not enough to have diversity based on background. We have to have diversity based on the way people act, the insider added. Why do you think She-Hulk is how it is? They're trying to create a new Marvel market for neo-feminist women. We're trying to grow in every direction all at once and have the belief that old fans will stick with it through all of this. Unfortunately for Marvel, the insider asserted, that isn't the case. Yeah, don't objectify me, but let me objectify myself. And Tatiana Maslany did the dance scenes for this, and it's fucking cringe. Megan Thee Stallion is a pig, I don't care what you say. This woman is a fucking pig. She's as bad as Cardi B. They know it and they can't hide it, they said. The flops have been gigantic embarrassments. People aren't tuning into Disney Plus to get Marvel shows the way it was planned. Same time, they aren't willing to change because this is a Feige strat and it's all about his ego. There we go. Kevin Feige and his male feminist ego. He doesn't want to be known as the greatest IP manager of all time, they affirmed. He wants to be known as the greatest studio head ever. Creative, financial, everything. But the Feige strat is failing, the insider continued. Everyone knows it. Your toy expert knows it. Our partners know it. Our partners know it. But then people, when the phones are away, will ask, why aren't you adjusting? Why don't you go back to what works? That comes down to ego. Feige thinks he can hold out long enough to build the new markets with all the DEI on screen. He thinks he can buy back old fans with a huge spending spree for multiverse stuff, they said. Yeah, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was trash. I haven't even made it all the way through the movie, and I probably never will, because it was trash. My wife, who's a normie, just watched Thor Love and Thunder and said, this is garbage. This is trash. I don't even like it. She loved Ragnarok, and I hated it. Nothing that Feige plans to bring back. Everybody they can get in the coming Secret War building phases of the MCU, save Robert Downey Jr., with whom they allege Disney's relationship has soured. The insider admitted that though it will work for a while, the company is ultimately just putting bandages on the boat. When Hugh Jackman Wolverine shows up through a portal, fans will go nuts like for Spider-Man, they predicted. But then what? That's the Star Wars problem. We're going to blow everything on getting the fans back, but the holes will still be there. After we spend all this money, all this investment, Feige will still push DEI and new stories so he can change his legacy. Andrew Garfield. I have a newfound respect for Andrew Garfield in the role of Spider-Man after No Way Home. Drawing their message to an end, the insider offered two asides to WDW Pro. First, explaining that though CEO Bob Chapek says he wants to get the company out of politics, he doesn't want out of politics the way you guys think. He wants Disney out of policy, but he wants to go hard at the representation we talked about, they clarified. Only one direction though. It's money. They already have the white market, the Christian market, the moderates market, and they don't boycott. At least they didn't. Strategy might change now that we're seeing a drop. However, despite this suggestion that a boycott from such demographics may have an effect on Disney's direction, such pressure would not apply to the company's alphabet activism, as even if Chapek wants Disney out of political sausage making,
What are you, gay?
he still wants into the alphabet issues. He wants into the behavior stuff. That's where they believe the new markets are, they claim. They want minority Disney Plus ratios up. They want single women merch sales up. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The way you market, it's not going to happen. They again, this is reaching for an invisible market. It really is. Second, offering an answer to the question of why does Disney allow Feige's current strategy continue if it's doing so poorly, the insider revealed the Marvel producer is allowed to persist in his current ways because he has a Chapek at his side in the form of Bob's son Brian. Nepotism. It pisses off so many people at the studio because it's blatant nepotism. See, I didn't even read that line and I already knew what they were going to say. But it keeps Bob at bay and Brian is totally on board with everything Feige is about. That's fucking ridiculous. So he's a cuck. Marvel's next release, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, hits theaters on November 11th. So we see why they're doing the things they're doing. This alleged description from an insider. It's the diversity of money. That's what they want. They want to diversify where their funds are coming from. They don't care about you. They don't care about your proclivities. They don't care about what gender you're pretending to be. But that's Kevin Feige. We know the creatives do because we've seen the leaked video. We know what they represent. I'm not taking up for Disney. They're ideologically garbage. They're garbage. But this is your turn. You let me know what you think. Are we learning anything new here, or is this just stuff that we all have heard? But like I said, I think it's kind of funny that they're like, well, we don't care. We're not doing any, white male Christian or Jewish leads because we already have that market. That market's ours. They act like nobody is going to take that away from them, or that customer demographic won't just get fed up and stop giving them money. Like I said, it's your turn. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I think they're an evil empire and they need to be taken down a whole ladder, probably. Just knocked right off the fucking cliff. It's your turn, though. Do it now. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Slap the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Ding the bell for notifications. If today's the day I've earned it, you can join as a Kazooian, Harvey Wakuian producer. 2 tiers available. If not, just subscribe. It's free. Enjoy the back catalog of content, live streams, reviews, everything that we offer here at the channel. I'm Itepukuin of the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all of you. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the next one.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
I could do this all.